Hi, I'm Evan Pantazi. Today we're going to talk about, yes, another knockout technique on the arm that comes from Hohan Soken's Secret Notes. Now, these techniques, again, are working on various body structures, real anatomical structures such as nerves, blood vessels, organs, etc. And we're getting dramatic effects on them. The more you practice, the easier they get, the better the effects you get as well. The fine line is attacking it so you get the result without damaging the opponent. Because remember, originally these were designed to defeat an opponent, okay, not just practice in a training hall. Now, this one is called Gaishoho. Now, last Friday, we did one called Gaishoho. And the Gaishoho is on the exact opposite side of the arm. Now, this target also has a fainting effect because it attacks, as Hohan Soken states, the nerve and the artery beneath it. It's not a vein. Now, veins don't affect the body the same way as a artery would. Now, a vein will make you bleed to death if you cut it the proper one and you don't pay attention to it, or you don't secure it or fix it or get medical help for this. However, the arteries affect the autonomic nervous system as well. It has to do with the rising or the lowering of the blood pressure. Most of the time, you have a shock to the blood system, and your blood pressure drops. It's called hypervolemic shock. And as you're doing that, as you're attacking the body on these targets from Hohan Soken, this one in particular, the Gaishoho, you're causing that type of an event to occur. Now, you're not causing bleed out unless, of course, you use the dagger that Hohan Soken so loves and so targets some of these things with. Because he, in this one in particular, he uses the ken, which is the fist, the shiken, which is the single knuckle fist, shoken, trigger finger, etc. He uses the hammer fist, the tatui, and the dagger. Loves that dagger. And as I had mentioned in other Hohan Soken videos that I've been building on, is you don't always use the knife end of the dagger. You could use the butt end too as a blunt force trauma, or not so blunt. I mean, it could be a pointy end, like a tanto knife would have a pointier end, and you could use that to inflict serious damage rather than cutting the opponent. Now, this attack is excellent because you can put it in many different styles. Again, these targets are not style dependent. Okay, Hohan Soken did Shorin-ryu karate. Now, you could put this into any Chinese style, any Filipino style, any Israeli style like Krav Maga, any particular style like modern adaptations of styles as well. You have American Kempo, you can put it in. It's everything, Wing Chun. You name it, you can put it into it because they're just targets. They're just areas on the human body that you're working to attack correctly. Now, to attack them correctly, as I've mentioned so many times, but it's worth repeating virtually every video I do, you have to have the proper target, number one. If you're not hitting a weak target on the opponent, what are you hitting? A strong target? And if you hit a strong target, something that's fortified with more muscle or bone or speed of movement, then how are you going to defeat a stronger opponent than yourself? You have to seek the weaker targets. When you went into a field of battle in the old days, you didn't go to just attack a person on a particular muscle. You went to attack a person on an artery or an organ that would permanently incapacitate that opponent, so you didn't have to fight him again at a later time, or that they would cause you trouble later on in the battle or in real life when they sought vengeance. Anyway, I'm getting way off on a tangent here. As we're attacking this target, again, like the Gaishoho that we did last time, the Gaishoho can be attacked in two different ways. Now, I prefer to use this target more in tuite attacks, which is joint maneuvers, grappling hand. It's called grasping and seizing the target. And as I do this, I don't like to cause damage on a joint. I don't like to use the joint so much as a trigger for the incapacitation of the opponent. I like to use the nerves and then the bending of the joint, not to cause the damage to the joint. That's not the goal. The goal is to stretch the nerve so when you're attacking the target, you have a much greater effect. And that's why the tuite is so powerful, because not only are you getting the person under control, you're also attacking their nervous system. Now, whether you're attacking the somatic nervous system that most joint locks do, you're also attacking the autonomic system. And again, the goal is not to destroy the joint. The goal is never, in modern days, never to destroy anything. It's because that'll come back against you in a legal court of law or a legal case. You want to get the incapacitation without the damage. Again, I digress. I'm sorry. Now, if we attack this in one particular way, it causes intense pain. It causes an altered state of consciousness because there's too much neural input going into the brain. The brain shuts off different functions, and that way your motor system, as Hohan Soken states in his notes, is at a loss. And when that happens, your knees buckle, your body can't support the weight because the neurological message is impulsing too strongly into the brain, not enough down into the body to strengthen or fortify the muscles. And you have the body collapse. The knees give out first, and the rest of the body goes into collapse, muscles weaken, etc. Very powerful target. Now, if you attack it in a different method, you're going to be attacking the underlying artery as he stated, and that was his ultimate goal. And that causes a fainting because of a different structure. Now, you're going to get the instant body weakening because you're going to be attacking the nerve, because as I mentioned in the Gaishoho target, you always have in nature, you have the nerve that's pretty close to the surface, and then you have the arteries underlying. Now, veins can go across and they're closer to the surface. You can see them here, but they don't cause that same autonomic dysfunction as you would have with an artery. So the actual target that he states, and that what we work with in Kyusho International, is getting to the artery, not the vein. So when you strike this with the proper trajectory and the proper tool, then you can see that you're going to attack the two systems, the somatic nervous system, which is the motor function, and the autonomic system, which is your autonomic or automatic system of your heart circulation, your respiration, your digestion, etc. So a very powerful target indeed. You can use it again in different methods that you see in karate. You could see it in different methods in Wing Chun Kung Fu, Tai Chi, many different styles. So again, it's not the style that we're depending on. It's the target, the tool that you attack this with, and the correct trajectory to get these effects on the body. The tool is important also because you have to get in between the protective surfaces. Protective surfaces first, of course, is the skin. Then you have the fascia underlying. Then you have muscles, bones, tendons, etc. that you have to get past. And these more vulnerable targets are deeper in the core of the body. They're not so much on the surface. And that's why learning the tools and becoming natural with these tools is essential to make your Kyusho that much more powerful, that much more efficient, and that much more natural when you try to deploy it. This is Gaishoho.